For a fun bonus game in today's video, take a drink every time I say the word spell slot. You'll die. The Magus, for being such a risky class, is not a complicated one. You do one thing and one thing only. You spell strike with your preferred spells, with your preferred weapon, to do your preferred damage, which is a lot. So it's easy to forget that the Magus, just like every other class in the game, does get feats. But their feats honestly aren't as impactful as they are for other classes, because the Magus, at the end of the day, wants to do one thing: a lot of damage with Spell Strike. So getting a lot of feats that have you do things besides Spell Strike, it's not worthless by any means, but it's interesting because you have to think of it from the perspective of a character who wants to do their one thing, and feats that cost actions to do other things make it harder to do that thing. So this is all me just having a weird rambly intro to say, hi, welcome to my top 5 Magus feats that help you do Magus things and deal tons of damage. Freak. League of Legends. Triforce. Anybody play League of Legends? I play League of Legends. It's really fun. Anyway, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the members of the No Net One's Patreon. Thank you to all of you on this list for supporting the channel. If you'd like to get your name on this list and support me as well, there's a link in the description where you can pledge for $1, $5, $10, or $20 a month. They all do the exact same thing. They just support me a little bit more. Thank you. That's all. No bit this time. No joke. No comedy. I don't do jokes. I'm a very serious actor, and I would like to be treated as such. Just like I do with some of these videos, I'd like to start with some honorable mentions, namely 2 feats for the Magus that didn't quite make my top 5, but I just really like them. And those, very quickly, are Arcane Fists, because being able to spell strike with your fists is super cool, and I like that it directly upgrades your fist to a D6, so you're almost as strong as a monk, just without flurry of blows. I think that's rad. And the other honorable mention is Magus Analysis, because it rhymes and I think it's funny. Starting off with feat number 5, Striker's Scroll. There's just not much to hate about this feat. It's good quality of life. It allows you to use the affix a talisman action to affix not a talisman, but any spell scroll that you can cast to your weapon. Now, as part of your spell strike, you can activate that scroll to spell strike with the spell inside of it without spending a spell slot. At the end of the day, this is just a way for you to get bonus spells per day. Getting away from your 4 total spells per day, if you can craft a few scrolls before an adventure, this is a great way to just attach it to your weapon, and you can either save it for if you run out of spell slots, or you can open a fight with the scroll so you don't have to dig into your spell slots, saving those slots for an emergency, and then between fights you can attach another scroll to your weapon. This basically, it sort of turns a spell into a focus point in that you can use it once per battle, but you do need to spend the time to reaffix the scrolls and, more importantly, craft or buy those scrolls. So make sure you have a source of scrolls before you take this feat, and if you do, this is just extra spells every single combat as long as you have a scroll attached. Also, can we just talk about the cool flavor of attaching a scroll to like all the different weapon types? Imagine throwing a dagger with a scroll wrapped around the blade, that as the dagger is thrown, because you're a Magus that can use ranged spell strikes, it just becomes like a fireball, so it stabs into them and explodes. That's just so freaking cool, dude. Feat number 4 was picked for a similar reason to Striker's Scroll, but it's just better. While Striker's Scroll gives you 1 extra spell per combat that needs to be crafted or purchased and gets expended on use, Fused Staff gives you potentially so many more spells per day. This feat is going to take a lot of explanation, especially if you don't know how staves work. Staves, I don't know. If you don't know how they work in Pathfinder, stick around. If you do know how staves work and want to skip ahead, skip to this timecode. The long and short of it is that staves come with spells built inside of them, and every morning when you prepare a staff, it gains a number of charges equal to your highest available spell rank. If you take Fused Staff at level 8, you can cast 4th rank spells, which means your staff gets 4 charges every single morning. You can also sacrifice a spell slot to add that many charges to the staff, which means if you sacrifice a 4th rank spell slot, it'll gain 4 more charges for a total of 8 charges that day. And to cast a spell from the staff, it costs a number of charges equal to the rank of the spell you choose to cast. Why is this all important to Fused Staff? Well, first off, let me explain the feat. The feat allows you to take a magical staff with spells inside and fuse it into your weapon of choice. Now, whenever you want to, you can swap it between staff mode and weapon mode. Now, the fun thing is that while in weapon mode, you can spell strike with any of the spells in the staff, as long as it's a spell strikeable spell. So why is all of this important and why is this a good feat? Well, it's because of the way the Magus gets spell slots. You see, the Magus is something known as a bounded caster, which means at highest levels, you only get 4 spell slots per day of your 2 highest ranks. If you are a level 8 Magus when you get this feat, you get 2 3rd rank and 2 4th rank spells per day. That's it. You cannot even cast 1st or 2nd rank spells unless you spend a higher level slot to do so. But what you can do is cast a 1st rank spell if it's inside of a staff, and it'll still only spend the 1 charge. So if there's a 1st or 2nd rank spell that you love to spell strike with and you're level 8, you don't want to necessarily just get 1 or 2 4th rank spells, here's what you do. You get a staff, you prepare it, you fuse it into your weapon, and on top of preparing it, you sacrifice a 4th rank slot. You now have 8 charges in your staff. If you have a 2nd rank spell you love to spell strike with in that staff, you can now spell strike with it 4 times while still having a few of your normal spell slots left over. Even if you don't sacrifice a spell slot, you still get bonus spells per day to spell strike with your fused staff weapon. In fact, there is even a staff that was released in the Treasure Vault book called the Spell Striker's Staff, which comes with Sure Strike, which is one of the best spells for the Magus, and I don't know why, but it got hard nerfed in the remaster, making it so you're immune for 10 minutes after casting it. I say screw that, ignore it if you're going to invest in Basically, Fuse Staff is great. You get so many more spells per day. It's a great way to cheat more spells onto your Magus. That was a lot of words. I'm sorry. It gets simpler from here. Coming in at 3rd place is Spirit Sheath, which is this high strictly because it's so cool. Spirit Sheath at its core is a very simple feat. You can store 1 weapon in a magical sheath that does not exist on your person. And even better than that, if you're in the middle of combat and you don't have your weapon drawn, then as part of the spell strike action, you can draw your weapon and spell strike with it out of nowhere. Now there are some limitations. It can only store 1 singular weapon, and it does have to be a bulk of 1 or less. I believe some great weapons are 2 bulk, like a great axe. So this will be better for a Magus with a lighter weapon. And the funny thing to me is that it only gives you a +2 circumstance bonus to conceal the object. Even though it's an interdimensional pocket dimension on your person, it's only a +2 to hide it. If that commoner rolls high enough to be like, oh, he's hiding a longbow in his sleeves. I think the funniest part of this entire feat is that if you ever go unconscious while your weapon is stored, it just pops out of you. Like, you are consciously holding the sheath together with your magic, so once you pass out, if you've just got like a short sword in your sleeve, it just... It's a fun feat. Spirit Sheath can be super character defining, especially in the middle of roleplay, and I think it's just a rad feat, and that's why it's 3rd place. It's not overly powerful, it doesn't even do all that much for you, but it is very cool. Next up, my 2nd favorite Magus feat in the game is just so cool. It's a bonus little bit of damage after every single spell strike. I'm talking about Cascading Ray. Now this is a little bit hard to use sometimes. If your last action was a successful spell strike that dealt some kind of energy damage, then for another action afterwards, you can immediately make a spell attack roll against another creature within 60 feet of your original spell strike target. You are literally hitting somebody with a spell strike so powerful that the energy of the whatever fire smash, it hits the target and then blasts through their body into somebody else, dealing 1d4 damage per rank of the spell if it was a cantrip, or a d8 per rank of the spell if it was a spell slot. You're level 10 here? You're dealing 5d8 bonus damage after a spell strike? That's fantastic. Oh, and did I forget to mention the best part? This extra spell attack roll is being made at the same multiple attack penalty as your spell strike, meaning your turn just started, full bonus spell strike into a full bonus spell attack roll. And you get this at level 10. You've had multiple ability score increases at this point, so I'm hoping your intelligence is probably up to +4 at this point. Sure, you might not have your fundamental runes to hit, but for a 1-action full bonus spell attack roll, 5d8 damage, that's incredible. And again, I feel like I need to hammer in the coolness factor of hitting somebody so hard with so much magical energy that it becomes a beam of that energy that shoots out of the initial target into somebody else. Love this feat. Just fun, cool, laser beams. And here we go. Already, my #1 Magus feat. And to lead into this, I have exactly one question for you, my endearing and raptured audience. What is the only thing better than a spell strike? Correct. The answer is 2 spell strikes at the exact same time, and that is why my #1 favorite Magus sweep. It's Spellswipe. It's Spellswipe. Oh my gods, this feat. For 3 actions, you make a spell strike against 2 adjacent enemies who are next to each other, and as long as you're casting a spell that can target more than 1 creature, you hit both of them as long as you roll high enough on each of them, and you deal the spell's damage as well to both of them. This only uses 1 spell slot to attack both enemies who are both taking your weapon's damage and both taking the spell's damage, and by the way, your multiple attack penalty doesn't increase until after you've made both strikes, which doesn't matter because this is 3 actions anyway. Yes, this is your full turn, you can't stride and do this unless you're hasted, wink wink nudge nudge, British sayings, but the damage output is insane. 2 spell strikes at once. Sure, the spell's damage is going to be a little bit lower because it needs to be a multi-target spell. It can either be an area of effect spell that might hit both of them, or there are some spells that just target multiple creatures. It's not going to do as much as a single target spell, but you know what you're getting in exchange? A second hit with your weapon, which at level 8 is probably dealing like 2d10 plus some change plus the spell's damage. I just love this. You're getting more bang for your buck. That's what the Magus wants out of their feats. They want more bang per spell slot, and whether that's getting bonus spell slots from things like Fused Staff or making even better use of their spell slots. I can't say spell slots anymore. It's been 15 minutes and I've said it like 40 times. Magus make big number make brain happy. But I know my dice luck, and I'm never playing a Magus, because if I've learned one thing over the years, it's that my name is ironic. I rolled a 4. That's it for me! Look at all the people on this list! They're all supporting the channel, and they're all so cool. Especially you? Hello. Okay. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching. If you want to get your name on the list, link in the description to the No Net One's Patreon. I appreciate all y'all so much. I'm having a blast with this. And as always, for the rest of this month, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's only tomorrow, tomorrow's a day away.